All right, so we are live, and I always say that, but I have to wait and make sure we're actually live because Jitsi will lie to us. Okay, we're actually live. Uh,
Mm.
I think it. So the funny thing is that I think it starts recording as soon as it says we're live, but you don't get any feedback that you're live until like 6 seconds later. So
No fun.
always gotta make sure, and then that way we don't actually lose anything that we're talking about. So I am
Right.
here today with the founder, and I think your official title is head of operations. Is that right, at blocSonic?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're the guy who does. You're the guy that makes stuff happen at blocSonic. That's what it boils down to. So, and that's been
Yeah.
going
Yeah.
on since in 2007. Am I remembering that right?
2007.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very beginning in January. Yep. So
Yeah.
yeah, we're
Oh,
looking.
so
So what's
16
that?
years. Yeah.
16 years now.
No. 17
Crazy.
years. 17 years. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's right.
yeah.
Yeah. 3 years away from whole 20. Yeah. Getting there.
Yeah, yeah. So, you have been on the Blocked Report in the past, and you have been on Music Monument in the past. So,
Mhm.
um, we don't need to do the whole deep dive origin story, but if you want to give people a the elevator pitch for what Black Sonic is, probably anybody listening to this knows, but just in case somebody doesn't.
Yeah. blocSonic is a net label that I founded in 2007, January 2007. Just initially to release Creative Commons licensed compilations called NetBlocks initially. After a couple of years of doing that, which I was releasing those monthly at the time. After a couple of years of doing that, I had artists reaching out with Just Plain Ant being the first to release original releases. And after a little think about it, I wasn't initially down with it, but once I started thinking about it, I was like, you know what? I'm a graphic designer. It gives me opportunity to design music album covers, and so why not? And so that's when it all began. And since then, I've continued on as a net label. In the past few years, moved on into the physical realm with Black Global. We've released a couple things here and there. Fought the pandemic, and the pandemic won, not completely, but it's slowed things down completely, and we're still trying to find our bearings.
Yeah. So that was one thing I don't actually know. I mean, I know last year Record Store Day ended up not happening for us. Is there any hope of that? I don't know when the dates are for any of that. If we find out, did we submit anything for
No,
Record Store? Okay.
not this year. Next year, we're still hoping. We're looking for the right opportunities, the
Right.
right projects. There's only so many things that Record Store Day will buy into.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
and what hurt us the most was, with the pandemic freezing Record Store Day initially, they basically canceled the original Record Store
Right,
Day. What
right.
was that, in 2020 or
Yeah,
20? Yeah, I think it was in 2020.
yeah.
And they decided to break it up into 6 different release days. And they canceled a bunch of releases, and we had um, one of our releases by Awesome Dre was already produced and manufactured. Everything was ready to go. It was for Record Store Day, and they canceled us. So we had to get this. We had distribution to stores, but it didn't guarantee sales. And the sales have been trickling in since then.
Yeah.
So it really hurt us. It was kind of uh, it was a move from Record Store Day that we weren't really happy with. We don't want to talk down about Record Store Day. They do provide a lot of opportunity, but it wasn't a great move on their part. I think there were a few hip hop releases that were canceled. It showed there was a clear um, interest in preserving their rock releases, but not so much their hip hop releases.
And that people can find a lot of different things, but the last time I looked, that Awesome Dre release was, yeah, it's available at store.blocksonic.com. So and that's a red vinyl edition. If you look in the archives of this show, now I've talked about this before, the show has several different times. So it might not be on this channel because this show was on a couple of different channels. But I did show that off. I remember back in a while showing that off. So so people can go find that. But yeah, it's on the website. People can go track that down if they want to take a look at that. So and we've talked about blocSonic, but you also run the Net Label Guide, and you're involved with the Creative Commons Community Music Awards. Is there anything else that you're involved in?
There's a couple of things I'm kind of planning on the side, but it could fall through. It's about a time. It's all about time, right? If I have time to make it happen. So I don't really want to, but there are a couple other things I can tell you about offline about sometime.
And you do have what is it, Envision? Is that how you pronounce it? You've got your graphic design, and well, you guys do more than that. That's, I guess, your piece in it at Envision is doing the graphic design stuff.
Yeah. That's my basically my freelance design stuff there, which I've kind of worked into, the whole blocSonic art thing.
Right. Yeah. I know at one point that we spoke about, just trying to do what we could for the net label scene in general. The Net Label Guide. So you've got so for people that aren't familiar with it, there's like community resources, and then there's a list of net labels, and they've got active and inactive on there. And I like the way that that you've got those separated. Now Klong Klong Moo has a list as well, and some, I mean, people may like one version versus the other, but the way Klong Klong Moo has it set up, they're all together. I mean, they do list the defunct ones, but if you're just kind of parsing the list, it's not super obvious. Like I don't want to say that it's not like it's hidden the defunct ones, but you do kind of have to. You can't just like go A through Z. You have to like think about it. So I like the way that this is done, and it whatever. I think it's good that it's done a different way, because if somebody likes the way this is done better, then at least like it's an option. It's good. You give everybody 1,000 options, that's not good. But I think giving people a couple of options is usually a good thing. So
for sure.
How do you go about keeping that? Like do you have a process for that, or just like, oh, somebody tells me it's inactive, I'm making it inactive, or how you
the original list came from I forget the guy's name, but it says it. I linked to it at the bottom of the website, but to his GitHub, and this guy put together this extensive list, JSON file of all that data, and so I decided I wanted to do something with that, and because it was so extensive, and I pretty much have taken over maintaining that list. And the guy at NetLabel Archive lets me know when anything new he finds out has died, or anything pops up new that he's aware of. He'll let me know as well. And so then I'll update that JSON file, and then that gets all updated on the site automatically, and all that rebuilds and all that.
Yeah.
And then as far as the resources go, right now I've been promoting NetBlock releases and whatever else pops up. I reached out to like Ryan to get me a logo or something, and I could promote him in that what's the happenings space. So if anybody in the community wants something promoted,
you used his government name, but people may not know him as Ryan. You're talking about Rhino the Bearded when you say Ryan. So
I didn't even realize. I guess that's that. Okay, I'm sorry for exposing you, Rhino.
No,
I said Ryan. I didn't, not even knowing that's his real name. I screwed up. I meant to say Rhino.
Well,
honestly,
I don't think he's trying to hide that. Just people might not know who you're like. I knew who you're talking about, but like other people are like, "Who's Ryan?" So
good for clearing that up.
Yeah. there are some people, Donnie being one of them, that he definitely, like, he keeps those separated. So,
Sure.
but yeah, I mean, Rhino, I think, is a fairly common nickname for people named Ryan anyway. So it's not
Is
like,
it?
yeah, well, he's not the only person I know that's going by Rhino. So,
Oh, really?
I- maybe I just happen to be like the lucky guy who knows two. I don't know, but somebody
Maybe.
else has done it.
Huh.
So, yeah, I don't. At some point, Rhino probably told me where that came from, but I don't remember. So Rhino and I, we worked. Wow, it's a decade ago now, I guess. That I was helping him with a run of shows that he called Unfiltered. So he does the OO show on Friday
Hmm.
nights, and then he did just the interview shows whenever we could get people interviewed. And then one of the things that you know one of the things that was that ended up being the demise of Music Management was just like having two people is great, but as far as like division of duties, but like scheduling is just more complicated. Like,
Yeah.
I loved having Donnie on as a co-host, but it's like now it's like I just do whatever I want, like, and I don't have
Yeah,
to
I
talk to
feel.
Donnie about it. So like,
Yeah.
it's a give and a take. And I mean, I'm sure like there's plenty of people that are in bands and then they do their own solo stuff. And it's just like, well, now I'm in charge. So,
Right. Right.
I think that's probably something people can understand. But one of the things is that Rhino's schedule was a little freer than Tom's was, and so any of the guys that we couldn't get on Music Management for whatever reason. Well, the other thing too is that you know Music Management, um, we sort of picked this like middle realm in between free culture and just straight Creative Commons, where we everything we did was remixable, which is not
Mm.
really like, I mean, like it's a thing that exists like that. Those definitions, those licenses still exist, but it's not like there were never any other people that sort of took that up as like, oh yeah, that's where we want to push that in free culture. I don't really know. I mean, people still use those licenses, but I kind of feel like that's a like a dead, I don't even know what to call it, a dead movement. I mean, like
Yeah.
as far as I'm aware, Students for Free Culture doesn't exist anymore. And it's kind of, I guess it's kind of maybe a symptom of sort of the decline of the CC music scene as a whole. Now, it's
Mm.
interesting because we're kind of in a spot where we won like a little bit, like there's so many people using Creative Commons licenses on Bandcamp, but
Right.
it's like the scene, but there's just not a scene like CC music
Right.
exists as a thing, and I don't think it needs people like us for it to continue to happen. I mean, people just like, oh yeah, that sounds cool, let me do it on Bandcamp. Now that said,
Right.
there has been, um you know I think first with Epic purchasing Bandcamp, and then it got purchased again by somebody. I don't even remember who it was. And
I
it's
forget
not
who.
real.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a licensing company of some sort,
right.
right?
And so
Song
people are
license.
mad about that. And then there's the whole anti-union thing going on with that too. So
Yeah.
um there is, so that was back in October, and I've been talking to people about that on and off on this show. But the other thing that's kind of happened that maybe will give sort of like the remix culture a kick in the teeth is we're actually doing the whole public domain thing again in the US, which is
Yeah.
nice. And
Yeah.
so with Steamboat Willie, I mean, and it could be anything, but I think Mickey Mouse is a big enough, and it's not just Mickey Mouse because it's Mickey Mouse, which maybe by itself would be enough. I don't know, but also Disney they've been such dickheads about the
Yeah.
copyright thing that
Yeah.
now there's just this like extra incentive um, to give them the middle finger,
Hmm.
and I hope that this gets people interested,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I mean, I haven't been optimistic about much recently, but I guess time will tell. There is some reason for hope.
I feel the same way as you about that. I think that there's this duality that, yes, it could very well get people thinking about Creative Commons. I mean, not Creative Commons, public domain again. But then again, it could be just ignored and forgotten, or people aren't paying attention to the real reasons why things get released. Like there's already a Mickey horror movie being released. I
Okay,
just
yeah,
saw there's a trailer for it. I guess they had it in the can in preparation for the release of it,
right,
so it's
yeah,
ready to
yeah,
go. And so there's going to be the releases of this stuff, and I hope that it gets people thinking about public domain and there's a discussion out of it. But I'm worried that media is just moving on, and they talked about it and now that's it, and people aren't going to think too deeply about it. We'll see. I guess it remains to be seen.
yeah. Well, that's absolutely certain. So I'm gonna take a look at the things that I picked, because what would be great would be to play something that was a remix after talking about remix stuff. I don't know that I picked out anything that was a remix though, so I may have to play something by Firefox is frozen. So I can't see what I actually picked out. Let me see if I can just find something. You might have something in mind. Do you have like
I got a couple things.
Okay.
I didn't dig too deeply or anything. There may be things you played, but I don't know. But there are things that I had available on my on the blocSonic channel that I had added to a playlist. So there's this and this. One's the Impossibles and one's Kalashnikov.
Okay. Well, I'm going to pick the one that you gave me first, which is the one that's HMX0. So you want to tell us who that is?
I am not seeing HMX0.
That it ends. Yeah. Here, hold on.
The URL.
I can.
Never mind. I see it. No, I do see it. Never mind. I was looking at the wrong end of that.
Yeah,
that first one is The Impossibles. Back to It with Daddy-O of Stetsasonic.
Okay.
From 7 years ago. I forget what year it was released.
I'm pretty sure we played this, but also I'm pretty sure it has been a while. So people may not have we've had ever since February, we've been on a streak of each month getting, I don't know numbers as far as is it actually more people, but we're getting more views. So one can assume that there's probably some new people watching. So probably some people haven't seen this before. So this is a great song. So again, it's The Impossibles with Daddy-O. Back to it.
Yeah. It's the Bulls. Yo. Here I go again with the pen strike, then get him outy. Impossibles, pulling impossible tools, make it rowdy. Say howdy to the crowd, jump up, beat him down. Yeah. It's the Bulls. Yo. Here I go again with the pen strike, then get him outy. Impossibles, pulling impossible tools, make it rowdy. Say howdy to the crowd, jump up, beat him down. Any sucker MC thinks we clown around. This old hype shit, 1993. Battle rhymes like mines if you biting me. Blowing up your face like a bomb in the mic. Got a song for the fight, make them wrong when I write.
What's the matter with my
Yo, hold up, now everybody thinking that I'm crazy when I roll up. But all I'm trying to do is build my flow up and trying to show these rappers on the mic that they can grow up. So show up and listen to the sounds of the party. Impossibles rack like Eddie Griffin in Ferraris. Wait, let me stop like the beat was muted and rewind my mind so I can get back to it. To it, this is how we do it all the time. Pull it like a bully pulls a bullet from a 9. Loyal to the end, man, I'ma stick with mine like Spider-Man sticks to the walls when he climbs. Yo, we beat too high, no you can't be down. Once bitten, twice shy, reject the sound. Fucking with low down, damn kids, you blew it. Doc, break the beat back, we can get back to it. Back to it, this is how we do it once again. Back like the body part you turn to a friend. Loyal to the end, man, I'ma stick with Doc, not Chuck D, but see Doc's my Hank Shock. Me like Bruce, cause the beat, it be kicking. Recipe famous without the finger licking. Showing to prove it, sticking to move it. Impossible, never front, getting back to it.
We getting back to it. We got him, C-Dot. Watch this. MCs be acting a fool as if they don't know about the D-A-double-D-Y-O. Bar schemes and punchlines like battle rap. How you get all the way up from leaning back? How you from Troy Ave and you feel Afro Shotters? How you a pederast and call yourself Bambada? Here come that real MC with real street ties. And we ain't petting no pandas, that's them other guys. We on them C-Doc beats, cutting above the rest. YouTube is free, if you don't like me, get it off your chest. But like I said before, you judge me, I'm gonna judge back. And what I use to judge, it ain't applause, but yes it claps. Ain't no weapon against me, it's gonna win. I rip that old ass tooth, me and my partner Lion. Flavor in your ear, no Craig Mack. And we ain't seen in no coach, cause we don't like that. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that is quite excellent. Are the Impossibles done? Do you know, or I mean, I know that.
You know, rest in peace, Marcus J.
Yeah.
I honestly, I don't know what Doc is going to do, what he's planning on.
Yeah.
I don't think so, but I don't know. I know they recently released a compilation on Chuck's label, Spit Slam, and they've done a couple tracks here and there too. You know, and I know CM, aka Creative, is officially part of the group too. So I don't know. You know, there's definitely more than just C-Doc in the group.
Right.
So we'll see. Yeah, potentially.
Yeah. One thing that last week I mentioned, and I don't know if you have anything to talk about, but I mentioned when I was talking to Jason, was Project Equalize. Now that has been in discussions probably for close to that decade back when I was working with Rhino. Is that still something you're thinking about, or is that done, or?
You know, I still have a domain, and I was hoping to get people on board to help out, like people with expertise with databases, because you know I have knowledge and I can figure this stuff out to some degree, but I would have loved to have had somebody with knowledge of databases where we could really optimize this thing and make it really, because I had this vision of allowing people to share Creative Commons licensed content in this, and then having a charting system similar to what we have at blocSonic, where everything would be, you know, that's added would be charted, and you could have, you know, monthly charts of music or books or whatever's released. And you know, I would have needed somebody with that expertise to really get in there and be able to optimize it. And nobody really had that. Nobody came forward anyway.
Yeah.
So it's not, you know, who knows? You know, I won't rule it out, but right now it's not priority.
Yeah. I'm not sure I knew that database optimization was where things were falling apart, because I could help with that. Probably don't need to talk about that right now, but I do. That is kind of my day job. So
okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we can talk about what decisions have been made or could be made about that. Cool. It may have been that I knew that years ago and I wasn't in a place where I had the time. But
Okay.
you know, now it's like if somebody had asked me a decade ago, you know stuff about databases, like, yeah, I mean, I have a master's degree in information science. I took like database courses, but like I had no, like I didn't really have any experience. Like I don't know, I can read you like, about third normal form out of a textbook and, explain normalization. Of course, now like with performance and stuff, it's all about denormalization. So like, yeah, but the fact that I even know that suggests I might be able to help. So,
Okay. Yeah, no, that's promising.
yeah. Yeah. So, in case anybody's like, oh, Doug does database stuff. Yeah. We support Mongo and Postgres and MySQL, and we also do things like Cassandra, but you probably don't need something like Cassandra for this sort of thing. I mean,
right.
Probably not.
Probably not.
So this is actually maybe an interesting time to bring this up. So I just decided, we were talking about like, hey, I can do whatever I want now because I don't have a co-host. So next season, two things are gonna happen. One, well, let me back up. So what Donnie and I decided we were gonna do for season 1 of the show, of the rebrand. So again, I've talked about the history of this channel in more depth elsewhere, but Donnie and I did a rebrand. And that's the important piece here. And what we decided we were going to do is we were going to take a break after the CCCMAs were announced, like after we did the shows to announce the awards and stuff. And those will be in March, basically. So we're going to do some nominee shows coming up, a couple of shows for the nominees, and then a couple of shows for the winners. And so some of those nominees that we do might end up being winning. Who knows how that's all going to go. But this is the first year that I've kind of like in the past, if people go to the archives, like what people did in the past is everybody would bring videos. It was completely 100% a video show. And what I did was I brought the nominees and the winners, and like I kind of tied things in that way, but nobody else really did that. It wasn't like actually Donnie may have done that some too, but it wasn't, it was just kind of like a get together. And and that, I think that served its purpose through the pandemic. I mean, that's why the whole thing started, is because we were every show was getting canceled and stuff, and people were like, well, what the hell are we gonna do? It was like, well, let's just get together and talk about music. And so it kind of ran its course in that respect. But anyway, so after we did the nominees, we were going to take a break, and in March and originally we were decided Labor Day. Since Donnie decided he needed to retire because he's still doing the block report, which I think he thought maybe this is still going to happen in some respect. I think he thought that Pot C was going to take that back. So that may be something too, that if Pot C
originally, I think that was the plan. I think Potsy just got caught up with whatever he's got going on in life. He just didn't have the bandwidth.
Yeah,
And so I think, from what I understand, is Potsy might want to do something different with a podcast in the future, but nothing's set in stone yet for that.
Yeah,
it could not happen too. So
yeah, fair enough. But so Donnie and I were going to bring it back in September after Labor Day, and then I decided that I was going to start it at Net Label Day. So Net Label Day, it happens. I record these on Sundays most of the time. Everyone's, if I have a guest that can't do it on Sundays, I'm flexible, but usually record it on Sundays. Net Label Day this year is on a Sunday, so that worked out. I don't even have to think about that. But so that's when season 2 is going to be. We're going to take the break there. But season 2 is going to be like, I don't even know what exactly to call it. It's going to be like almost like not really a variety show, but like it's just going to be like a show about stuff. and we're going to play Creative Commons music. So I don't know if it's going to last last more. You know, like I could have somebody on that like they're like a professional, you know, bike rider or something. But we're, you know, but like I'm going to try to find people that are, you know, interested in music, because it kind of doesn't make a lot of sense otherwise. But maybe, you know, like, and this is what I was thinking with the database thing. I mean, like, so I don't know what all is going to cover. Like, I have one guy, well, I guess two guys, because my brother's going to come back. We're going to do like a college football and NFL preview show. And I've got a guy who is like a fan of Rhino's show. So he knows Creative Commons music and stuff. And so I thought he would be a good guy to, like, if we're gonna do this like sort of weird, like it's just like a show about shit that Doug finds interesting, then we gotta at least kick it off with somebody who knows what the hell is going on, because then I can point people to what sort of craziness this is. Now, I had this show idea a long time ago, called so this was based off, very obviously, I think, based off of the comedians in cars getting coffee. But I was going to call it Bicyclists on Bikes Talking Bullshit. And we were just going to ride around and just talk about whatever the hell we wanted to talk about. I did like a pilot show of that and realized the audio from that was just going to be more work than I wanted to deal with. So that got canned pretty quickly, but this idea has kind of always been there. And the other thing, the thing that I hope, the reason that I want to do this is that I think that, like, if we have a show that's like just about Creative Commons music, and all I ever talk to is like people that are like deep in the Creative Commons scene, I don't want to say exactly that we're preaching to the choir, because, like, you know, it's still interesting for, like, you know, people that have followed blocSonic for years. Like, they're gonna find like all your ideas and stuff to be interesting. Like, there's value in that. But but if we're gonna bring more people into the scene, then we gotta do something new, you know. And this has been a struggle ever since that, you know, came up with the idea for the CCCMAs, is like getting people to like help out. And that's a project that like sure, I could come up with some like nominees and some winner, you know, like I could pick like a year best of, but then it's like a, you know, like a music blog. It's like, here's Doug's best of, you know, like it's not really a community based thing. And like it's been really difficult to find people. I mean, like the crew we have now is good, but it's like everybody's so busy, you know. And it's like the same people, you know, that have been involved in Creative Commons scene for years. It's like, where are the new people? And you know, it's like I started getting involved in college, but like I'm not like I'm 40 years old now, you know. And it's like, where are the young people? Like do I need to go on TikTok? Like, this is the thing that like, I don't want to go on TikTok, but like, is that what I have to do? Like, do I really have to? Do I have to get on TikTok? I mean, maybe that is.
Yeah, I know. Honestly,
I
think I agree with you. I feel the same way. I've resisted TikTok. I'm like, I'm not going to do shit on TikTok. I don't understand. You know, I don't understand the need for it. I understand why they're there, but you know, I don't know. But one thing I think I know is the problem with getting new people in, I think, is young people are getting their media from streaming, Spotify. They're getting the app, you know. And you talk about the free licensing, freeware movement, and all of that stuff is kind of losing steam. And I think it's all tied to the same kind of things, like centralization of applications through the App Store. And I mean, yeah, sure, there are applications you can download outside of the App Store, but it seems like there's just like young people aren't as interested in browsing the web to find things that you know, they can just get on the cloud on Spotify or whatever, and in the App Store. And I think the music industry has gained complete control again, thanks to streaming. We don't have
Yeah.
it's not a good thing for independence at all.
Yeah.
We don't, you know.
I mean, like I get streaming, but it's like you can stream on Bandcamp. I mean, that's that's another topic, but you can stream on Bandcamp. You can
Well,
stream on net label sites. You know, like
I got Plex, you know, I got a Plex server and I've got my music anywhere I go. Just like, you know, I'm streaming, but it's
yeah.
my, you know, I've got control of it, but you have to maintain
But I'm
that.
saying even if it's not, I mean, like Free Music Archive, you can stream there. You know, you can stream on
Right.
Domendo. Like all these Creative Commons sites, they offer streaming. Now, I mean,
It's just
it's
not
not.
part of the ecosystem of whether you're a Spotify user or you're an Apple Music user.
Yeah.
It's not in that ecosystem, right? And
Yeah.
everything's locked out for that reason, is because the majors have gained complete
Yeah.
control of the ecosystems again.
Yeah. I guess ultimately, I mean, kind of the question, and I don't remember when this was a couple of years ago. I had asked you sort of like, you know, what are our KPIs for these, you know, sort of like with like the CCCMA, like what's our goal, you know, like how do we know that we're doing what we need to be doing? And I guess aside from any like numbers and stuff, it's kind of like there's like an existential question, like, does it matter? You know, like
Yeah.
if people are happy with the options that they have, like, doesn't matter. I mean, I don't know. Like, it matters to me because I think there's a lot of good music out there, and people don't necessarily want to get, you know, like involved with major labels. But you know, part of the thing that with you know that like people hated the majors in the past because artists were getting screwed, and like now maybe it's not the majors that are screwing the artists, it's like the Spotify's of the world that are screwing artists.
Well,
but I think they're in collusion. I mean, with
no, they're in collusion.
So,
The reason why artists are getting screwed is because the majors have struck deals with the streaming services.
Yeah,
So basically, they struck deals because they forced streaming into these deals because the streaming companies need their content, right?
Yeah.
And so they're like, well, okay, we'll do this deal with you, but you know, we're going to get a bigger chunk of the pie than they will. And ultimately, that now we're in a tiered system in Spotify. You know, it's official now. Before it was kind of like unofficial. I'm sure of it. I'm sure the majors are getting a bigger chunk of payout. And now it's official. Now it's like Spotify's coming out and saying it. You know, if you have 1,000 streams or less, then you're going to get get a smaller cut.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is,
and it's like, I think one of the problems that we have as far as like a movement, you know, like a CC music movement, is like the diversity of like interests. You know, like there's a lot of people that like they're not interested in the money. They're not interested in you know, they don't care about Spotify, you know, like but you know, I think for me, you know, it would be good if those folks, you know, realize that like we're stronger together, you know. I mean, there's a fringe group that sort of thinks that, you know, like you shouldn't sell music. There's that group, and like you're not going to win those people over. But the people that are just like, oh, I like making my own music and whatever, it's not that big of a deal. But like, you know, if you want people to hear your music, like you're better off with a coalition, like a strong, you know, group.
Yeah.
And of course, I mean, I think, I don't know the history exactly of all of this. But I know that at some point the IRS got, they stopped like rubber stamping all the like open source foundations and stuff. And I think that spooked Creative Commons. And then they kind of like distanced themselves from music, Creative Commons HQ, you know.
Sure. Yeah.
And, but and I get from the, hey, we're making money, we're a music business sort of thing, but like arts organizations are like a classic 501c3 type of organization. Like there's no reason why that they should be like hands off about music. Now,
Right.
if they didn't want to get involved with, say, like a Jamindo or
Mhm.
or a Tribe of Noise or some sort of commercial entity, then that makes sense. But
Sure.
like things like the things like Rhino's doing now and like putting shows together, like that's something
Mhm.
that I think that CCHQ could do. And I don't I I don't
Yeah.
I don't understand the whole. I mean, maybe it's just like you know if we have too many cooks in the kitchen, then we're not a focused organization. I don't know. I
I don't
kind of
know.
just stopped paying attention to them. So I kind of
Yeah.
you know uh
Well, it's I mean, like we're not paying attention to them because they're not actually doing things that would draw our
right,
attention in
right,
our
yeah,
our scene,
exactly,
right?
exactly.
I mean, if they were, then we would be caring more about what they're doing. But like you said, they've totally left music aside. They focused on, governments and education
Yeah,
organizations and that sort of thing, which is commendable. But at the
yeah,
same time, it just feels like they really worked very hard initially on music. That's where they got their foothold
yeah,
in with their licensing, and it just seems like they're just like they're washing their hands of music altogether, and
right.
I just don't get
This
it. It
this
just
is the other thing
feels
I don't.
wrong to me.
Yeah, and the other thing I don't gonna get, like you said, they're doing a lot with education, and obviously, like I come from a very specific background. Like my aunt is a band director. Both of my parents are band directors. Like music education has been a big part of my life, so I get that. But also, it's like music education is like a standard part of like K through 12 education in the United States.
Right.
Like why would you exclude that from your education curriculum? Like I just don't.
Right.
It's
Right.
weird.
Hmm.
Like it doesn't make any sense. Like even if it was, again, like a smaller proportion, you'd expect to see something, and there's just
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It's frustrating.
yeah, what so we talked earlier about sort of like maybe there's some hope. um CC Mixter, they finally got out of their like abusive relationship with Creative Commons. So uh I
Yeah.
mean, that's uh there's probably some good and some bad that goes along with that, but I'm sure that like Emily is happy to just not have to deal with that anymore.
For
I don't
sure.
know if if you've been doing anything with them recently, or not.
No, I started out wanting to help, kind of revamp the website, and it was just a lot of work, and my bandwidth just got tight, and I just didn't have
Yeah,
time. And unfortunately, I couldn't continue. Um, I hope they have somebody that's able to fill that role.
yeah, because I mean the site is basically the same as it's been for quite a while.
Is it? I haven't been in a little bit. Um, yeah, yeah. It's a
I'm,
big, yeah. The code base is crazy. It's going to take somebody with a lot of strong stuff to be able to get through that and do it all again. It was more than I had will to. I started out having will to, and the deeper I got into it, it was just this will take all my time, and there was just no way I could devote that kind of time.
yeah. You know what? My Firefox is saying that it has an update, so maybe something's screwy with. I've got Chrome for this, so maybe if I restart Firefox, I'll be able to actually get to the playlist that I had. I can't even update Firefox. I don't know. Firefox is just on holiday, so I try not to use the same browser as the video, but I'm just gonna have to make that happen. All right. Well, you said you had a couple actually. Yeah. You know what? You gave me a couple. So
yeah. The second one is
yeah.
Kalishnikov.
Yeah. Now, Kalishnikov's a guy who he's one of those with a secret identity, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
we'll leave that.
Absolutely.
We'll leave that identity secret then. So, and what's the name of the track?
Willow. It's from. Does he say it here? From Wall of Sound, released in 2021.
Excellent. Let's check it out.
Enough drum and bass, make you wind up your waist.
This is what it comes to. Split up some good sense of me. I never spoke nothing like a plain bush ganja. This is what it comes to. Split up some good sense of me. I never spoke nothing like a plain bush ganja.
When I shift the line, I come with divinely designed shit. Highest me natural environment. Squirrel the billfold diving, smoke fumes swirl with the rail, psilocybin. Effortless to keep it going, stamina impeccable. Cashew, skeptical, they never go the extra decibel. On the top of the proverbial back, pressure making black, can't handle that, we take the power back. Comfort, lyrically well, strap me with you with the verse, and the punchline like one shot. With your song, get airdrop, chili bang, gong rock. Jump out, just back up and walk on how a thing drop. Comfort, well, strap me with you with the comfort, lyrically one shot. Idiots on get easy, my selector, me no need permission. Let road the version, free as they come. Booyaka, so the place I go run. Another song they just ring the alarm. Wicked man only do light in the hand. If you with me, to see the sufferation, save me. Tax them slavery, win election, them trick we. And don't do nothing at all. Comfort, lyrically well, strap me with you with the version. The punchline I won't shot. Idiots on get airdrop, chili bang, gong rock. Jump out, just back up and walk on how a thing drop.
This is what it comes to. Split up some good sense of me. I never spoke nothing like a plain bush ganja.
Excellent.
Nice.
Well, yeah, I don't know how much you want to say about that. Is there anything else you want to say? You said when it was released.
Just that it's really, really dope. Came out in 2021. Wall of Sound by Kalishnikov and Top Secret Identity.
All right. So I told Mike this already, but I got the playlist here ready to go. Are you familiar with the artist Dope St. Jude?
No.
All right. So this is a we're gonna play this because I want to make sure people are know that this exists. This is a artist out of South Africa with really professional production and music videos. This is not the only one that she's got. So yeah, definitely go and check that out. This is the track Home.
Addicted to loving you, how does it feel? Appetite limit a meal. You got that delicate appeal. When we're together we heal. I'll never turn my back on you. Listen babe, I give my heart to you, and I'll even be a star for you. Travel far for you. Feel myself coming back. Look baby, this is love divine. I don't even need to tell the line. I think it's time we redefine, intertwine. I wanna feel your pain, I wanna feel your pain, running through my veins, myself coming back home. You don't know that I'm a soldier, yes you know I'm your soldier. Baby just give the order, I'll kill for you. I wanna feel your pain, I wanna feel your pain, running through my veins, myself I know your truth, I know lies. Average your joy, I've heard cries. Right to this day, you still surprise. All of the depth in your eyes. I'll never turn my back on you. Listen, babe, I give my heart to you, and I'll even be a star for you. Travel far for you. Feel myself coming back. Look, baby, this is love divine. I don't even need to tell the line. I think it's time we redefine, intertwine. I wanna feel your pain. I wanna feel your pain running through my veins. Myself coming back home. You don't hurt, I'm a soldier. Yes, you know I'm your soldier. Baby, just give the order. I'll kill for you. I wanna feel your pain. I wanna feel your pain running through my veins. Myself coming back home. You don't hurt, I'm a soldier. Yes, you know I'm your soldier. Baby, just give the order. I'll kill for you.
Addicted to loving you. How does it feel? Appetite no little. Look at that delicate appeal. When we together, we feel. I wanna feel your pain. I wanna feel your pain running through my veins.
Feel myself coming back. I wanna feel your pain. I wanna feel your pain running through my veins. Feel myself coming back home. You don't hurt, I'm a soldier. Yes, you know I'm your soldier. Baby, just give the order. I'll kill for you. I wanna feel your pain. Feel your pain. Wanna feel your pain. Feel your pain running through my veins. Feel myself coming back home. You don't hurt, I'm a soldier. Yes, you know I'm your soldier. Baby, just give the order. I'll kill for you.
And that is Home off the 6-track. Well, they're calling it an EP, so 6-track EP, Higher Self.
Was that on Bandcamp?
It is. Yeah, let me drop that link in the chat for you.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. I'm not exactly sure off the top of my head how many videos she's got, but the other video that we've played on here before is For You, which is the first track off of it. So yeah, good stuff. And I feel like a pretty good budget for the video too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The Africa has been it's challenging as far as for people that aren't familiar, we do regional awards, and I think some of it is it's just sort of like a English speaking world sort of thing with Bandcamp, coming out of the US. It's like big in Australia and New Zealand, and but yeah, it's a struggle to find enough stuff. There's a net label out of Montreal that used to be based out of Tunisia, I think, and so I don't know if all those musicians like moved to Montreal. It's AWD-tapes, I believe, is the Bandcamp. They're a like a punk label. Lots of and actually two of their more recent albums, I believe the ones by Uzu and Illusion, were on the Best of the Year punk rock on Bandcamp. So those are definitely some ones to check out. But it's like there's a lot of like a lot of the musicians are singing in Arabic and stuff, but like they're based in the musicians are based in Montreal, so it's like there was a time like right at the very beginning when I was like we should do it like based on language instead of based on geography. But like, it just makes it like, and for a couple of years, like I had folks that were like in those regions to help, but like time zones were complicated, and I think
Sure.
I
Yeah.
think it's better the way it is. I mean, I'd like to get to a place where, I mean, my ambition initially was to like have like a CC music like organization of some sort in like every state, and like have like local, but it's just like too many people to
Yeah.
like try to coordinate,
Yeah.
and
Again,
I mean,
that's something that seems like something Creative Commons could have tried to
yeah,
organize and make happen. That should have been. I honestly thought early on that would have been something they would have
yeah,
done. But again, it's just one of those lost opportunities, I think.
yeah. So if anybody wants to get involved and make that happen, then yeah, I'd love to try to figure out a way to to do what I can to help with that. But like, I just I don't have the time to do it. It's basically what it
Yeah.
boils down to. So
Yeah, for sure.
one thing that I want to ask you before, I'm not in time crunch, but I want to be respectful of your time as well. We talked a little bit about Proctor's Equalize and some of the technology stuff. So I got a question on Mastodon in the Fediverse about Funkwell. So are you familiar with Funkwell at all?
I'm familiar with it and I've looked at it, but I haven't really explored it too deeply. It looks kind of confusing, even to me, and I'm not usually easily confused by tech, but like I think you can actually physically upload files to a Funkwell server, but does it also allow you to link to online sources? That's kind of a thing that kind of confuses me about it.
Yeah. I don't know. I have to admit that I haven't spent a lot of time looking at it, so maybe I'll have to set up a server and poke around a bit. Yeah, it's just I don't know. It never it's not been big enough to like capture my attention. I've known of its existence, but that's kind of where it is. They've got all these other ones too that have sprung up, like there's like jam.coop and there's Fair Camp, and I don't know. Have you looked at any of those?
I looked at Fair Camp because it was mentioned in your last episode.
Yeah.
But I didn't look beyond just kind of checking out the website. Yeah, I don't know. Bandcamp, for all its flaws right now, it's still the center of the universe for anything outside of mainstream music.
Yeah.
Outside of Spotify and Apple,
right?
Apple Music and all that.
Right. Yeah, that is kind of where we're at.
Yeah.
But and a lot has been said about sort of the demise of FMA, but the site works now, so
yeah, there's that. There's that.
Yeah, I mean,
but you can't like the discoverability of the music is not the same. Like they made the homepage a little less, more about promoting their business plan and less about discovering the catalog that they have. And yeah, that's my issue with it, I think, right now.
Yeah. It's not what it was, but people can still, go check out some still Creative Commons, so they got that going for it. So Mike, is there anything else that you want to mention or
let's see, we got a couple releases coming up before the end of January. We've got return of Eli and the Mannings, although they're renaming themselves as EATM. They're shortening it up, and they're getting an album coming out this Friday. And then The Silent Partner has a unit drop coming out. I don't remember the exact date. I want the exact date for you.
Yeah.
On the 26th of January. So yeah, those things. Again, probably in the beginning of February, we'll have another block report with Donnie and Time Zone, which will be dope. So yeah, we've got a few things coming up.
So I was sort of wrapping up, but I am curious actually now that we're talking about releases. When do you start collecting stuff for Net Label Day? How long is that process?
It's usually pretty. Sometimes it's organized and sometimes it isn't. Sometimes I start getting artists wanting to release stuff in a time frame, and I'm like, this would be great for that day. So you know, if it works out, then I end up just trying to stockpile a bunch of releases for that day. So it usually starts happening like June, probably. It's really pretty late in the process, unless somebody brings something to me they want to release on that day. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is probably going to be an ongoing theme, just for thinking about things in the future, but just sort of the bringing like the Net Label Day. Like, I mean, one of the things about having, I feel like, Omar is, I haven't known Omar for that long. So as far as, new blood in the community, I think he's been doing like poetry stuff for a minute. So he may not feel like he's new to the scene, but certainly, taking over Net Label Day is stepping up in a big way. But I think that, one of the struggles that I've tried to, it's bothered me for years. I mean, again, going back at least a decade, is just sort of like, we're all kind of in our own little fiefdoms here and there, a podcaster here and there. And I don't know if Klong Klong Moo adding countries to their stuff was because of us. If it is, then thank you. Well, thank you either way, really, because it is helpful for us, whether it was for us or not.
Sure.
But I feel like we just, and again, I think it probably comes down to people just don't have time, but we're not as connected as we should be. And
I agree.
So anybody that has thoughts on what we could do to fix that, and I'm going to do the, press the like button, tell us in the comments. So, but for real, or if you don't want to leave a YouTube comment, just email me, like, cause this is, a real, I think we are better together as a community. And I know that working with people is hard, but I think we need to try to do it more. So.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Yep. Needed.
All right. Well, I'm gonna press the stop live stream button here, and then we're gonna enter crime time. All right. Thanks everyone for watching.